I remember when I was on campus before I went to TEACS, I was the Associate Dean for Research in the College of Engineering. And we always had, you always need more space. You know, researchers need space. And so they had this place called the Texas A&M Annex. Well, you know, first of all, the name Annex is not, doesn't dream up visions of great places to go visit. And it was quite a ways outside of town then. We didn't have the West Campus wasn't that built up. And you didn't have the medical school out that way. And so to actually go from campus, if you put someone in a research facility out there, that was a long haul and quite disjointed. People would say, well, if you need research, you need to go to the Annex campus. So I would get the researchers and we'd go out to the Annex campus. And of course, what would we find? Well, fairly interesting. We found very little. I mean, it was a lot of open space. There were a lot of, 1940 buildings out there. And I mean, the same original buildings, many of them were still there. And that's what TEACS was using in a lot of their training. They were actually using the original facilities. Now, the university is exploding on campus, trying to grow, expanding the West Campus. They're not going to put the building funds into that campus out there to say, okay, if you come out here, we're going to build this beautiful facility for you and you can have a lab out here. It just didn't make sense. So they changed the name to the Riverside campus. And I remember thinking, well, that was a clever move. I mean, you know, it conjures up, you know, sitting on the riverbank while you're having your lunch during the day in this beautiful campus at Riverside. So I thought, well, that's a step in the right direction. Maybe we start attracting people. And you know, it really did, to a degree, change the image of the campus. But TEACS started to flourish out there. We could do heavy equipment. We had heavy equipment out there. People come over there, bulldozers and cranes and, I mean, all kinds of equipment, excavators. We had courses there teaching the TxDOT people how to operate them. TTI could go out there and they had to have a lot of runway land for car crash safety programs. And what a beautiful facility for that. So I think the Riverside campus found its life. And if you needed to do experimental type work, research work, and you needed land, that was a good place. For example, there was a lot of on fault power lines going down, research, how do we detect that, and so forth. Well, faculty were certainly willing to leave campus to go to Riverside for that type of research. So it saw some growth, but not much. But TEACS now, we saw some growth. We could do the public work training programs out there. We could do water, wastewater. Back when fiber optic cables were being laid all over the place, training technicians how to do that. Electric power, people that we would count on for our electricity and training to go out and even in hazards or any other time to work on very high voltages. We could do training out there. We actually had power poles for them to climb and learn the job skills and safety skills that they needed. We had a law enforcement training academy out there that did the law enforcement academy. We had water and wastewater training. I mean, all the job skills that you would see in the communities, we pretty much had training out there. But the problem was we were using those buildings. We didn't have the funds, the state agency, to build nice, beautiful buildings out there for our employees. So we had to make do with what was there. And just to give you an idea of some of the things we had to do out there, but we worked with explosives because the academy had to teach SWAT teams how to breach a door. And we were blowing the doors off these old houses out there, literally blowing them off, putting them back, and the next group comes through and blows them off again. But I mean, you know, who cared, because the facilities were pretty bad. Actually, one day I got a call from one of the division heads telling me that he was always a little bit complaining about his facility, rightfully so. It wasn't really up to standards. And he called and he said that he had an employee fall through the floor. And that really did happen. She was walking across the floor, and I guess one of the boards were rotted and her legs went through the floor. So the Riverside campus, I think, sort of hit a level where it was being used by people doing research, such as TTI out there, or training programs. And you just did the best you could with those facilities. We eventually built a couple of fairly nice buildings so we could get them out of the World War I, II-ish decor. And but these people were happy people. I mean, don't get me wrong. No one was whining about this. They loved their job. They went to work. They wanted better facilities and stuff. They understood what the priorities were, and we made it work. Okay, so campus worked.